Perfect. Thank you, Jesse. Hi, everyone. Thanks for joining today's webinar. So my name is Caleb Digg, and I'm an account executive with FAY Business Systems Group. We also have Jesse Heller, our marketing director here. And presenting the bulk of the presentation today is going to be Chris Swetre. He is the general manager of Sugar Market and Sugar Sell with Sugar CRM. Go to the next slide, Chris. So just in terms of the agenda for today, so we did kind of our introductions. I'll give you a little background on FAY Business Systems Group and why we think we can, we have the right to put on a webinar like this for you today. And then I'll pass it over to Chris, who is going to give a brief introduction on Sugar Market, talk about delivering leads to sales reps, calculating a return on marketing investment. And as always, if there are any questions as we go through this, feel free to put them in the chat. We might get to them as we go through this, but we will also come to some Q&A at the end as well. Okay, so quick background on FAY BSG. So we have about 25 plus years of experience. We have more than 500 clients today. We are a Sugar CRM Elite Partner. We were the Global Reseller of the Year in 2020. And Global Partner of the Year in 2018. We do focus, mainly on CRM, but we also have expertise in, CX, financial software, marketing automation, of course, and building out custom solutions. Our headquarters is in Southern California in Woodland Hills, but we do have offices across the country and across the world. Some of our leading kind of integrations, what we're most well known for in the sugar ecosystem. Just to note a couple of here, we definitely have a lot of experience integrating with different ERP and accounting systems. So Sage 100 and QuickBooks are some of the most popular ones. We also integrate with Jira, with Zendesk, a Ring Central integration with Box and Dropbox for cloud storage. And we've built a lot of cool kind of add-ons on top and enhancements to Sugar on top of it. So we've built a Sugar messaging piece that allows you to send text messages out of Sugar. We've also enhanced the Sugar mobile app to include some geo mapping functionality as well. So if there are kind of any interest in any of these integrations, that was my quick sales plug. You can feel free to reach out to us to learn more about that. So with that, I will turn it over to Chris to go through today's webinar. Thanks, everyone. Thanks, Chris.
Okay, thank you, Caleb. Thank you, Jesse, and thank you all for spending a little bit of time with us. I just want to first, before I get into the Sugar markets, just to recognize FAY Business Systems, one of Sugar CRM's absolute top partners. And I know that from being a partner myself for many years. Before I took this job at Sugar CRM, I ran W Systems, another reseller. And FAY was always my fiercest competitor and my best friend. So I'm really happy to be here working with them together to show you Sugar Market. So let's take a look at Sugar Market. I think Sugar Market is really young inside the Sugar CRM. We acquired this product from a company called Sales Fusion a little over a year ago, and we really relabeled it to Sugar Market. And we have the vision of we know that all our CRM customers need to collaborate with marketing. Sometimes, a new business might ask themselves the question, what comes first, sales or marketing? What comes first, the chicken or the egg? And the answer to that is that, sales comes first, but then very quickly we need to support salespeople with marketing. So that's how it is for us as well. Sales is in our DNA inside our Sugar traditional Sugar Sell and Sugar Enterprise and Sugar Professional products, but we need to support sales with marketing, and that's why we added the Sugar Market product to our story. So let's take a look at kind of what the market space looks like. So I just wanted to quickly show you this chart. You might have seen this before, but in marketing technology, there is such an incredible diversity and number of products that our marketer have to choose from to do all kinds of little things related to marketing technology. So in 2020, it's 8,000 different products that fulfill this market space, and that's grown from in the last 10 years from just from about 100 or so. So lots of tools to choose from, And most of our customers is in the mid-market or even lower end of the mid-market. They don't have the staff to run 8,000 products. So they need to invest wisely into tools that do as much as possible with as few staff as possible. And that's where we think SugarMarket fits in. We built SugarMarket, Sales Fusion built it originally. We continue to build it as kind of an all-you-can-need marketing solution. We do a lot of the things that you'd expect from a product like this, and we kind of bridge the gap between really single-purpose email-only products like MailChimp and Constant Contact that do very specific things, and to the other extreme, really enterprise, big Oracle, Eloqua, Adobe Marketo, large products that needs large staffs of really technical specialists to run it. We kind of fill the middle ground between that. So you have to have a need for our product. If all you need is to send email, then probably Constant Contact or MailChimp will do the job for you, and it'll probably be cheaper. If you have enormous global diverse needs, maybe you need something more than a SugarMarket. But if you're in that middle, we really want to provide a lot of value. So let's go through some of that. We compete in a marketplace typically against Marketo, Salesforce, Pardot, and Acton. Those are our three main competitors. So I just wanted to pull up what a popular review site thinks about this, G2. You can go there and see the good, the bad, and the ugly about all these vendors. And we score really well. We score for just basic requirements. We score for usability, for how to get set up, how to administer it, just ease of doing business with. I think that's one of the things we take the most pride of at Sugar CRM, and I think at Fay as well. Is we want to be easy to do business. We're not a huge, enormous company. If you need to get a hold of somebody who's in charge of something, you can do that. It doesn't take too much effort to get a hold of us. So that's our competition. We do well. So what exactly do we do? So we, as I said, we're an all-in-one type of solution. So that means we have to do a lot, and we have to cover the full customer journey from when we first try to attract a new prospect and lead, how we cultivate them, educate them about our products and services, put them in touch with our sales team, hopefully convert them to become a customer. Then once they're a customer, we want to keep them informed about what's going on and retain them for as long as we can. So we expect that you have a CRM solution. We hope that it's Sugar CRM, but we also integrate with Salesforce and Microsoft Dynamics and NetSuite and a whole bunch of other ones. That's really important, that we can take the leads and marketing activity that we generate as marketers and get it really efficiently to CRM. So my job at Sugar CRM, in charge of both market and sell. So I'm really, really motivated to make sure that we do a great job there, that we can give our sales reps and sales manager the benefit of a good marketing team and all the good stuff that group is able to get for us. So full customer journey. And as I said, it's not just about attracting new business. It's even when the customer comes on board. How do we create programs to keep them engaged, educate them about what our continued services are, how to use ourselves, our company, and our people the best, and then retain them over time for as long as we possibly can have a customer relationship. That's the goal of most organizations. So some of the technical things that we provide, I just want to go through, that go beyond sending mail. So for sure we got to send mail. That's still probably 70% of any marketer's world is to do email campaigns and send them out. But what we do on top of that is to create easy to use forms that you can embed on your website. So if somebody responds to one of your emails and maybe clicks on a link, basically follows your call to action as a marketer, they land at one of your forms that you've designed in SugarMarket and that is incorporated into your website. And we want to ask some questions. We want to learn a little bit about them. Typically, the practice is, just ask a few questions, not too many, but a few. And then we can use that to build a profile in our marketing automation database. We'll store that information not only in marketing automation, we'll store it in our database in marketing, but we'll also send it to our CRM tool pretty quickly as a new lead with all this information. And we don't send it as an email, we send it directly. We push it into the CRM tool so that it's right in there in pretty much real time. So as I said, email is important. So we have to have the ability to create attention-grabbing emails that use all the latest technologies. It's tough to get attention from somebody's inbox these days. There's a lot of competition. So we have to, one, be able to have tools that show that we have relevant content. We have to have technology that makes it easy to interact with. So for instance, you can see here, a call to action is important in the email. So we have a button designer that makes it easy to create a button that will work in the email, even if your email recipient might otherwise be blocking images and some of the nice design things we do. The button will always show up so that they have that clear call to action in the system. Another thing that marketing automation tools like SugarMarket does, beyond what just a straight email provider does, is that we can create these automated programs. So what I'm showing here is what's called our Nurture Campaign Builder. And what that does is it basically allows you to say, if somebody comes in and maybe expresses interest in a specific product, create a campaign that treats them individually over time through a specific sequence. For instance, after they download their white paper, for instance, then wait 2 weeks, send them a little reminder, check if they open that reminder or not. If they don't open it, maybe wait another 2 weeks and try again. But if they open it, maybe accelerate the process and notify a sales rep. So you can kind of design a plan on how you would like to interact with a person that does something specific on your website or in response to your marketing that's individualized to them and is smart. And then at the right time, does a lot of different actions. So if you look over on the right, you can see kind of some of the components a Nurture Builder does. So it can send email, it can pause and wait, it can add the person to another list, it can remove it from a list, it can update the data collected onto the lead itself. It can alert the sales rep, or it can alert the whole team of sales reps or product manager or customer service people. And then you could specifically say, push it to CRM. You could create a to-do task in CRM. You can create a new sales opportunity in CRM. So basically, you see there's a lot of tools to interoperate with the CRM tool, and that you can just plan out on this canvas and create basically a little program by dragging and dropping in the system. It's very powerful. As you do this, what you want to do as a marketer, what marketing automation does uniquely again, is we track things over time. So we don't just measure the fact that you clicked on an email or you visited a web page. We have a concept of scoring. That means that we can assign, and each customer might do this differently, assign a score to different types of actions. Different pages might have a specific score that might vary from another page. For instance, if you visit my SugarMarket page and visit my pricing page, I might give you 10 points for that. If you go and visit my careers page, I might give you -5 points for that. So there's different pages that mean different for us to try to score you as a lead. And then we track that over time. You come today, do something, we add up the score for that. Then you go away, maybe research our competitors, figure out that they're no good, come back to us, research some more. And what we do then is we keep on adding to the score. Keep on adding to the score until you reach a point, and we might choose to wait for a point in the score where we send you to a sales rep. Maybe we don't want to send the sales reps. Maybe we're in a business where we just get gazillions of leads. I want to be in that business. But maybe we do. We get tons of leads, and we don't want to flow all of that directly to the sales reps. We want to nurture it a little bit. And you could set a threshold that maybe only after 50 points do we send it to a sales rep, and now it's a really well qualified marketing lead, and they have lots of ammunition to go and engage with that customer. So lead scoring is really important. The next thing is we want to have a concept of real time. So for instance, we have a concept of automated alerts. And that's just not only for maybe a new lead. It could be that if somebody visits our webpage, if one of the persons that we're tracking in our marketing database goes and visits that pricing page that's really important to us, maybe it's a really important buying signal, we can immediately send an alert to the sales rep, basically in real time, send that, hey, your contact, Susan Smith from ABC Company is now at the website and checking out the pricing page. You should be aware of that and decide what you think the right thing to do is. So very flexible in terms of determining when and how you send these alerts, but it's a powerful tool to make sure that the marketing folks can send a message about something that could possibly be a sales-driven action. Then, since marketing is also a cost to a business, there's usually a lot of focus on understanding that cost and the results that is being generated. Often marketing doesn't really have direct control over the revenue that it produces. It influences revenue, and we like to think that we influence revenue a lot, but sometimes it can be hard to prove it. So the more we can understand the data, the underlying data with analytics, the more tools we have to do that. So in Sugar Market, we have some tools that are very flexible to kind of measure almost anything. So we license a tool from Google called Looker, which is a business intelligence tool that we embed into Sugar Market that allows you to create these dashboards on any of the data that we have. And we have a data model that includes accounts, contacts, emails, interactions, a whole bunch of things that you can then measure and create dashboards on. And some of the key ones you typically would want to have are what we're seeing here. If I did a campaign, I want to see were they delivered, how many were opened, how many received a click, how many people hated our email and unsubscribed, and how many possible bounced where that maybe we have a bad email in the system. So reporting, very important. Then next step is, okay, so we do all this great marketing stuff, we understand what we're doing automated campaigns. How can we interact with SugarSell, which is our other product? So we naturally want that to be really tightly linked up. So we do synchronization bidirectionally between Sugar Market and SugarSell. So for instance, if you have Sell first, we synchronized all your contacts back into Sugar Market, your leads and your contacts from SugarSell go to Sugar Market so we can start marketing. And then as we capture information in market, we start scoring, we start getting leads, we start getting clicks and web page visits. We synchronize that back to Sell so that the sales reps can be aware of it and see what's going on and decide on what to do. So key concept of what we do is we want to capture a couple of different things. We care about clicks and email opens and website visits. That's nice, but like the real valuable marketing interaction is really when somebody fills in a form. When they fill in a contact us form, they watch a gated video demo, they sign up for a webinar, something like that. We call that a marketing response. And we absolutely want to make sure that the sales reps understands that happened. So we basically feed them a list of marketing responses, and so that they can be aware of that at all times and decide on what they want to do about it. Once they're working with leads inside of SugarSell, we try to give them as much rich information from our engagement with the lead from the marketing side as we can. So we automatically create the lead record in Sugar, and if you use SugarSell or Sugar Enterprise, you're probably familiar with what a lead record looks like, but it's basically the business card, the key information here at the top, and then details, in increasing level of details below. And then over on the right-hand side, we have kind of our window into Sugar Market. We have the full sequence of all our contact with this person in Sugar Market. We have their lead score, which is that add up of all the things that they've done. We show them that, hey, yep, this is still a valid email, they're still there. And we can tell them which lists they're on, and we can send them marketing emails, a lot of marketing engagement right here in this little panel inside of Sugar Market. And then also down below, you can see kind of the journey. You see here's all the activities that have happened, kind of the summary over time. So once we're capturing that and the salespeople are doing their job and following up on the right people, hopefully some of those leads turn into opportunities, and hopefully some of those opportunities are won and produce revenue to the business. And this is always a contentious point between sales and marketing. You know, sales will always say that, hey, marketing, you need to generate more leads, we need to get more revenue. Marketing says, well, I send you a ton of stuff, you know, you didn't convert it. Well, here's the reports that will tell you what happened. We, in SugarCell, will provide you with a dashlet that basically says, here's all the types of marketing campaigns that you worked with the marketing team on, and all the individual campaigns, and we'll give you a hyperlink to, here's the link to the specific opportunities that it generated, and how much revenue that created. So number of opportunities and amount of revenue hyperlinked into the system, and so that the sales managers can see what is marketing contributing here. That's really important and is good reinforcement for the marketers to do their job, and you're creating a good collaboration between sales and marketing, which is really, you know, the only way to do it if you want to generate a return on your investment. So that's a full cycle of how SugarMarket, you know, attracts leads, does different technologies to do marketing against them, score them, report on them, push them into SugarCell, and ultimately turn up on a return on investment report. So that's kind of a fast-paced introduction. You know, the Fay team is really well versed in SugarMarket and how to make it work with SugarCell. So they're happy to help out and do more detailed demos. I work closely with them, so if they want to engage me, they're always welcome to do that. And then on your side, maybe we'll look to see if there's any kind of questions, and I'll be happy to stay on and answer them.
Great, thanks, Chris. That was a very thorough overview of SugarMarket and how it works with SugarCell. Thanks for that. We did have a couple questions here. One of the questions, you know, they had mentioned that they're kind of new to marketing automation, and they were kind of curious how SugarMarket is able to track, you know, a visitor to the website. So how can we actually know who's visiting the website and what pages they're looking at? Like, how does SugarMarket have the ability to do that?
Yeah, so when we embed SugarMarket into your website, we put a little script, a JavaScript on your web page. So it's about 10 lines or so of code, and it uses a cookie to identify the person and who they are. So we basically, at that point, they have to acknowledge, like many websites, we have to place a cookie on them to track them. But that basically is identifying the unique browser. And then our goal is to get them to fill in a form, have good content on our web page. You know, I call it a call to action. It should be on every single page on your website. There should be some call to action to download something or watch a video or contact us for a demo or pricing. And all of those buttons should lead to forms that ask who they are. And when we know who they are, we associate that, we create a record of that in our database, and we associate it with the cookie in your system so we could track your future visits and relate it to a specific name and demographic.
Got it. Great. Thank you. There is another question about lead scoring as well. I mean, how many, I guess, is it possible to create multiple kind of lead scoring profiles based on the type of, you know, customer that you're going after?
Okay, that's a good question. That's a question from an educated consumer. It comes up a bit when we compete with other marketing automation vendors. Some vendors can only do a score for a single score per person. So, you know, you do your stuff and we track it, and your score is either 1 or 50 or 5,000. Some organizations want to score based on interest. You might have certain pages on your website that deal with product A, and other web pages that deal with product B. So what we want to do is we want to have a different score for product A and product B. And we have the capability of doing that in SugarMarket, setting up different score profiles that keeps adding up the scores based on different criteria, represent typically different products, for instance.
Got it. Great, thank you. There is another question about maybe triggering actions inside of sugar market based on actions that are done inside of sugar cell. Uh, is that something that is possible?
Absolutely. So the full database of sugar cells, so say a lead record with all the custom fields, or the contact record with all their custom fields, or even calculated fields from the account or related records, can be synchronized back into Sugar Market. And then we can set up rules that if a certain field is a certain value, that we add them to a list or add them to a campaign, or most commonly that we add them to a nurture campaign. So for instance, if we maybe add a field to a contact that says, what product do they own? They own product A, or that they might be interested in product A. And that's done in the CRM tool and Sugar Cell. And then that's synchronized back to Sugar Market. We can pick that up and see that, we got a new contact, or the contact has been updated to have that product A interest. Let's attach them to the marketing campaign, the nurture marketing campaign for product A. And that could be a marketing campaign that goes on for weeks and months and keeps that interest nurtured over time. So yeah, we could synchronize and trigger based on specific fields.
Great. Awesome. Thank you. Just about, I think, two more questions here. I mean, how long does it take to implement Sugar Market? What's the process from, getting kicked off to, running a campaign to, really fully using it?
We typically, we take it step by step. So like, so you guys at Fay, you do this, we do this as well as a service. And so we have an onboarding program that usually we target to be done over 60 days. That's kind of the amount of time we allot to the onboarding. Some people do it quicker. Some people, might take longer to get to everything. Some people spend a lot of time setting up their email and initial forms. But typically the way it works is that you do your emails first, then you do your forms, then you typically get around to doing your lead scoring. And then the last thing you get to do is your nurture building. There's no prescriptive way, you don't have to do it that way, but that's what we typically see our customers do. And we typically see that on average, the nurture building comes in around 45 to 60 days into the process. That's just because it's, there's a lot of little processes and things to learn and get used to and test out as a marketer. And depending on how many other job and tasks you have on your plate, it depends on how long it takes, but typically within 60 days.
Okay, perfect. Well, I think that's about all the questions that we had here from all of our attendees. And we're right up to about 1:30 Eastern time, so we just fit it all in 30 minutes. I mean, this has been a lot of great content here. Chris, we appreciate you joining us to go through all of this. So we will actually be sending out the recording to this as well to everyone that joined here. If there are any kind of follow-up questions on anything related to Sugar Market, if you want to set up kind of a one-on-one demonstration of the product and you want to see how that works with Sugar on the CRM side, feel free to reach back out to us and we're happy to walk you through that. But thanks again, Chris, and thanks again everyone for joining. Hope everyone has a great rest of the day.